Today is August the 6th, 2024. This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. I'm GB, Brian and Cooper with me. As always, good to see you guys. What's going on?
Man,
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's good.
Yeah, it's good to.
Lots of travel and vacation, getting ready for another school year with the kids,
Yeah, yes, sir.
Life is busy.
Real life, man.
Everybody knows about that. That's why they're looking forward to football. So
Yep. Man, it's upon us, man. We got our first games this weekend preseason. There will not be another Thursday without football until December, I think they said. So that's cool. So we're back, man. So we'll talk about that. Got the Olympics underway, and then you got kick a little bit about the NCAA as well. You see Coach Coop with the U hat on.
Man, come on now.
Top recruiter of the ACC. So yeah, let's get to it, man. So starting with the Olympics, like Brian, you said, I've been kind of traveling in and out. Shout out to the Canadian homies. I was out there seeing a lot of Team Canada posts while I was out in Toronto. But Coop, have you watched any of it? You've been able to catch up on any?
No, I mean, I haven't looked at any articles. I ain't watched nothing. I'm relying on you and Brian for this one, man. I haven't watched none of the Olympics at all.
Yeah, kind of same, man. I see like the medal counts, you know what I mean? USA number one in there, of course, 24 golds. China got 22. Australia got 14. Total medal count with the US at 86. China with 59. Australia with 35.
Oh, wait, B, you know what? I will interrupt you.
Sorry, you mean France with 48 is third.
Oh, excuse me. Yep.
When I was at the bar, not too long ago, I saw the U.S. men's team play, and they were playing against a country called South Sudan. So I never knew there was a South Sudan or a North Sudan. I thought it was just Sudan, and that was it. So I learned something that day. Now, they got ran by about 30 or 40, but
they won that first game, though. And for Sudan to be their
That's
first win ever, and
Sudan has actually played exceptionally well, and they held the two practice games they played against the United States. They kept it within 10 both times. It was only the final game that the United States kind of were able to break away, and that had a lot to do with the return of Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
but the Sudan has been impressive. It's got one of the Lakers on the team, which is Wesleyan Gabriel West.
Nice.
Wesley Gabriel.
They have like one or two NBA players on that team, Brian?
Yeah, they got two.
Yes, I thought.
But one of them is a Laker. Nice. And then it's odd. The Lakers are kind of sponsoring that team because our old friend Luol Deng is the one who's paying for the team's existence.
Yeah,
for all
pretty
the
cool.
Players sponsoring it, which is awesome. And Luol Deng is obviously famous for his very, very, very generous contract that he got from the Lakers several years ago, of which he played 15 minutes on it before being moved off. But yeah, the Olympics have been pretty impressive. I don't know what you all have watched. Some of the things that I found interesting was I did not know, nor did it exist, that there is a mixed 4x400 team. And if you've seen the highlights of the mixed 4x400 team, it was really interesting. The United States broke a world record immediately, ended up getting to silver in the end. But I did not know that we now were doing mixed relay teams where you have, go man, woman, man,
That's
woman.
Right.
I thought there was a reason they didn't do that too. So I guess now they do.
That's right.
Yeah, and
if you make
it was super interesting. It was impressive to watch. Unfortunately, the United States barely lost in the finals and got the silver instead of the gold. But it's a fun sport, and this is one of the first years where they've added parity between men's and women's sports on the number of them. Actually, I think this is the first Olympics where there was parity between the number of Olympic sports for women and men.
Yeah, you're probably right, because I did read something now that you were talking, Brian. I did read something where it was a boxer, a true female boxer was fighting against a person who claims to be a female but is a man. What's that about? What's that about?
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't get us canceled with saying the wrong thing.
No, what was that about?
So the both of them were born biological women. There was never any doubt about the fact that she was a female. So
what was the fight? What was the ruckus about?
So one of the women has a disorder by which since birth, she's had a higher than normal testosterone count.
Oh, that doesn't make her a man, though, right?
But she has never been biologically anything other than herself.
Okay.
And the woman who quit the fight after 48 seconds exclaimed, "I've never been hit this hard in my life." The woman who hit her only ended up getting the bronze medal, so clearly someone could figure her out. And you know, so she quit the fight. Of course, everyone kind of speculated, and then some people decided to put a lot of misinformation out there about her being transgendered. That was not the case. So there's plenty of stuff circulating around that. It was cleared up by everybody, including the IOC, almost immediately. The woman who quit the fight said she regrets not shaking her hand. She said, I really regret that. That's not who I am. And I was just reacting and emotional and so on and so forth. And she said, look, I've never been hit that hard. And she wasn't a contender for much of any of the goals. It's not like somebody who was expected to be a top contender. She was not meant to be in that level of competition.
Now you see, Glenn, I didn't care enough to research the thing. I just saw a highlight. And that was it.
It was a lot of people sending tweets and messages real
That's
quick.
Good to know. See, and I didn't know that either. Funniest thing is when Brian said she was like, "I never been hit that hard." All I thought about was Coop's first and only day of football.
Right, that part. Yeah, you know what?
I said I'm done too.
I'm gone. You ain't about to be killing me.
First Minnesota drill.
This can hurt.
Right. I don't know how y'all do this.
I think we've also figured out who the best athlete in the world is right now, and that's Simone Biles. I mean, she is freaking
definitely.
You watch her, and some people were talking about, she's doing all of the most difficult routines. So her difficulty scores are already to the point where she can mess up and still get golds, because what she's doing, nobody else can even try. She's attempting it. It's just truly impressive. There's some videos of her. They're showing her off the ground. Now the ground has a little spring to it, but she's way up there, way up in the air doing these routines.
She's incredible.
Had a little bit of an injury scare. Congratulations to her for completely dominating throughout the entirety of her Olympic career to date. When asked about whether she would compete in the Los Angeles Games, she said, "Never say never." But that's a long way. It is a long ways away.
That's 4 years.
Yeah, definitely.
The men's Olympic basketball team is rounding into form quite nicely. I don't know if anyone saw or heard of the game today. They stomped Brazil 122 to 87 in the quarterfinals. So we're in break rounds now. We're out of the pool play. The United States team is doing their thing and completely dominant. It's always, I was watching, this is really unrelated to, apparently during the Dream Team games, I didn't realize that there was a thing going on behind the scenes where the players were trying to not be the highest scorer. I just learned about this.
I heard about that.
Grant Hill was talking about it.
Grant Hill was talking about it. He says everyone was passing the ball and everyone's talking about how selfish we were, but we all knew that we didn't want to be tested. And apparently he's joked. He's like, they always tested Karl Malone because he's just a unit of a human being.
Jacked,
And whoever the highest scorer was, he says at the end of the game, they were passing it up. It's an interesting take when you hear these kind of revisionist stories about some of the Olympic games and some of the things that went on. I like that one in particular. But in this Olympic games, everyone's trying to vie and get their thing in. When you score 122 points, it makes it a lot easier. There's some people who have been criticizing Steve Kerr for his coaching of the team because sometimes some of these superstar players didn't get to play or they're not playing major minutes. But they look great. They're running an offense that makes a lot of sense in the Olympic game, which is basically a two-man game between Curry and James, with everybody else feeding off of that. But everyone's getting their points, everyone's getting their time. One game is different than the other. If they have tall players, they start two bigs. If they don't, they start three guards. It's. I haven't watched every game, but I've watched probably 2 or 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
And they've been very, very strong and impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You know who's having the most fun at the Olympics?
Who that?
Yeah, Snoop.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh,
Snoop
okay.
is out there living, bro. I don't. He's kind of like covering every sport. I've seen him in equestrian outfits. I've seen him with the hoop team. I've seen him at volleyball. Like it's pretty dope. I think
Yeah.
it's smart. Snoop is at that age where he relates to, I mean, our age, right? But even young people can recognize who Snoop is. So
He's-
I think that's
And
dope.
he's a grandpa now. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
To think about. I was having a conversation with a friend about this recently. The cultural adjustment to Snoop that's happened. His
Oh, yeah.
first single was on the movie Deep Cover,
Yeah.
talking about how
187 on the
187
undercover.
I think he was
on
like
an
17
undercover
at that
cut.
time too. Yeah.
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 And it was during a heated moment, and that's how he introduced himself to the world. And
Murder was
he was all
and-
Long
Yep.
Beach Crips and the whole 9. Like, it was a different cultural outlook about him and what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And he has shifted almost to the entire other end of the spectrum, where he's considered a very savvy businessman.
It is.
He
He's
bought Death Row.
considered-
Remember he bought Death Row.
Yeah.
Kellogg. He owns that now.
Well, he's got ice cream brand. He's got something on everything.
Yeah.
He's
I saw a game
huge
show he was
promoter.
hosting one time.
Oh yeah.
I saw
Does
that too.
everything.
Yeah.
He's a promoter. He's a game show host. He is excellent when he does commentary, or at least very funny.
for the
And
boxing?
now he most recently getting publicity because he had his granddaughter kind of out there, and
Yep.
they were talking and exchanging, and he kind of looks like a friendly grandpa.
Yeah. He's been in movies too. I mean, he's been in a few movies here and there with the
Snoop's
He's not a
Day,
good actor.
Dolomite.
But
Yeah. Oh no, not at all. But
he
it
plays
puts himself
one
out
role
there.
really well.
Yeah.
Snoop
Right.
with a different name.
Right. Right. But
Yeah.
it puts him out there though in front of people. But yeah, he can't act. Yeah.
Yeah, Snoop's done it all, and it's I mean, I think the end I say with it is just the beauty of allowing somebody to actually age. So let's definitely stop
Yeah.
the violence, because this is what Nipsey probably would have been. This is what Tupac could have been.
and
Yeah.
Big, you know what I mean? Because it's what happens when you can actually age out and become who you could become. So yeah, Snoop's having a good time. Also want a quick shout out to my cousin Kareem Maddox, who was on the 3-on-3 team. They
Oh, he
lost.
was.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
on the US team. They lost, but shout out to my cousin. He's been playing 3-on-3
Yeah, congratulations to him on making the team.
Real talk.
A lot of talk about the 3-on-3, but that's awesome. Congratulations. to him.
Yeah, I mean,
Real
I hear
talk.
that too. Like, oh, if you put NBA players and win, I'm like, it's a different game. But also, I mean, if is that what we're gonna do? Just send. I mean, you want the best of the best, but these guys were the best at that. These women were the best at.
Mm-hmm.
They've won world championships in 3-on-3 ball. So I get the idea of, yeah, we'll just send, players from the big 3 or send these guys. Like, yeah, we know pros can play. So,
Right.
Real
It
it is what
Big
it is.
shots
You
out.
can't, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So
Yep.
shout out to him playing in the Olympics. Yeah, so it's been cool. It's been
Oh,
cool.
good.
Hopefully I can see a little bit more of it now. Oh, Scotty Scheffler too. The chef.
Golf.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
incredible, by the way. I don't know if anyone got to watch that. Again, it was at a super weird time. But what he did on that final round to basically come from 5, I think, back, or is it 6 back? I think it was 5, and take first place, take the gold from Rahm and others who were playing exceptionally well all the way through. There's a reason why Scotty Scheffler's number 1 in the world. He certainly proved it, and he ran him down. The women's tournament starts Thursday.
Nice.
It'll also be very interesting, but it was great. I'm currently listening to Tiger, the story of Tiger Woods' whole life. It's 13 hours audible. It talks about how he did some of these types, but seeing them live with Scotty Scheffler is pretty exciting.
Yep.
Mm.
Word. Cool, man. That's awesome. Any last thoughts?
No.
Nope.
Mm.
Cool. So let's slide a little bit to our favorite, to football. We'll start with the NC2A, first year of the playoff. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts there.
Oh man, I got plenty of thoughts on this, man. Let's first of all, the NCAA finally solved their biggest problem, in my opinion. Their biggest problem was not enough big games. Me and Brian have talked about these preseason schedules, so-called preseason schedules, for years, and how teams don't play anybody. Well, now with this conference realignment, I know some people are mad at that, but I'm happy I ain't got to watch a lot of boring games. I get to see, the USC's and Oregon's take on, some of the best teams in the Big Ten. I get to see Texas and Oklahoma take on some of the best teams in the SEC. I think it's absolutely great for college football, which is why I stayed in Texas earlier today, that college football is going to have some of the highest, probably the highest ratings ever had, not because of the playoffs, but because of the regular season matchups that we've never seen before, some of them, most of them, and that we're finally going to get to see. I mean, it's going to be great. Now, of course, there's hypocrisy in college football. Of course, you got people who, they want the kids to get paid, but they don't want conference realignment, which actually brings more money for the kids, or they want a 20-team playoff, but the kids are playing too many games. You can't have it both
Yeah.
ways. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, I think there was nothing wrong with the championship system to begin with, but you want to put 12 teams, that's fine. Now, is it going to solve everything? This is college. Of course not. The NCAA allows 68 teams, and people still complain how somebody didn't get in. So if somebody's going to complain that a 13th team didn't get into the college football playoffs and want to make it to 16 to 20.
No one who matters.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got, Glenn mentioned in the very beginning, I got my Miami Hurricane hat on. I mean, I don't know if I definitely know Miami's not going to win the national championship. Hoping we make the 12-team playoff is a possibility. Not saying it's a strong possibility, but it's definitely a possibility that we could. So for now, I just have to play the NCAA 25 college football game on PlayStation, but more on that later. I'm just excited for the season, man. It's a lot of good teams. Oregon is good this year. Ohio State is good this year. So it's just a Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. They're good this year. They could be what you call one of them dark horse teams to win. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to college. I love college football. I'm just looking forward to the season. What about you, Brian?
Well, I want to start by clarifying there wasn't a conference realignment. I wish there was, because teams are scattered all over the place. There's literally no alignment, right? You've got, a Big Ten that's got teams as far as the West Coast and as teams go on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if there was some type of universal realignment. We also still have 3 independent teams that get to pretend like they don't even have to play these games in Massachusetts, Notre Dame, and UConn. And then you've also got a Pac-12 tournament where the big question is going to be who's going to win the Pac-12 tournament, the Oregon State Beavers or the Washington State Cougars, because they're the only teams in it.
Yeah.
So, I do like the new playoff system. That since the beginning of the playoff system, I was saying it needed to get to this point.
Right.
Although I did think that the right way to go, even 8 would have been fine, is to give the Power 5 conferences an automatic selection for whoever won the conference, and that would require everyone to have a conference championship so that there's only one winner. I thought that would make the regular season and the conference play much more exciting. And then you have 3, 4, 5, whatever at large. They can still do that, and I imagine that's where they'll end up at some point in time once there really is more alignment in all these conferences, because look at the Midwest, the Mid-American Conference, where you got the Akron Zips, the Ball State Cardinals, the Bowling Green, Buffalo, Central Michigan, East Michigan, Kent State, Miami, right? And someone in that group's going to have a pretty darn good record, and why their record gets to compare to a Big Ten conference that's got nowhere near 10 teams. They got more than 10 states worth of teams. So there's no 10 reference in any of this at this point in time. It's going to be very interesting. I still think while the conference alignment is okay, UCLA and USC majorly screwed up. If they had stayed in the Pac-10 and just been a little bit more patient, they would have had a walk into this new playoff format. And now they've got, as you just said, we're going to have great games week in, week out, where they're going to have to fight Michigan State, Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, Washington. I'm sorry, Michigan, Wisconsin. That's
not easy.
That's a lot of firepower that they have to now work their way through to get what, maybe 2-3 spots per conference, 2, maybe 3, possibly they should have gone to that Mid-Atlantic conference that I was talking about and made their lives a little easier, because while it will make regular season play much more interesting, it will make the results of the season much more unpredictable, at least who's going to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the best teams are going to be coming out of 2 conferences, and we get to watch them fight pretty much all the time. No one's thinking that the Big 12 conference with Colorado's bum team and Arizona State and those folks is going to do anything, right? It's either coming out of the Big 10 or it's coming out of the SEC.
Yeah. Two things to your point. This kind of devalues all the regular season to me, because I think if you got a playoff spot locked up, you won't try as hard that last week of the season or maybe the last couple of weeks of the season, because you're going to get in. And number 2, growing up, just watching college football, the best bowl game was the Rose Bowl. A lot of times it was better than the national championship game. And now the bowl games are somewhat devalued because it's all about now winning. Unfortunately, it's all about now winning the national championship. That's lost for a minute. But yeah, Glenn, besides the bowl games, I don't think anybody, but I think people weren't watching the bowl games anyway because players were opting out. So maybe having the playoff is the best way to keep, players motivated, the star players motivated that's going to get drafted to still play in these games, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because the bowl games, like after the top couple bowl games, you start playing in the Popeyes Chicken Bowl.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if it's not Rose Bowl, if it's not one of those big kind of
Right.
championship type atmospheres, player don't
Right.
want to
That's
play
where it
anyway.
was going. Yeah.
So I think that's a good point. There's like 20 bowl games. Like
Yeah, man, it's over 40. It was like
Yeah,
38,
like
41 and one. Yeah, you get all
that's
these. Oh yeah,
at
man.
some point you can't, you were in a division, so you get to be on a bowl game. Like you can't just
Yeah.
do that. So
Yeah, man. You got the Home Depot backyard bowl and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah.
So I think that's to your point, the way to do it, right? Like these are actual meaningful games because you have a chance at the playoff. And then by putting more of those teams in there, those other teams that make it to those top bowl games will be maybe more motivated to play. Plus, I don't know if the NIL changes things either, bro.
Well, the NIL to me, the NIL just makes the strong stronger because they're the ones that have all the money. The SEC, the Big 10, they got all the NIL money.
I'm just saying in terms of playing in those games, right? Because that NIL money, depending on what that NIL says, if you're like, we need to play 10 games,
but
for this mill or whatever,
10th game,
I'm running it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, another thing I'm looking forward to, the U gets to play Cal because Cal is now in the ACC. I don't know how that happened, but I'm happy about it. So now so Miami comes to Cal or Miami goes to Stanford, I'll be there October 5th, supporting my Hurricanes and, making stuff happen. Hopefully we can get a victory.
Okay. I think I could go with that. I definitely want to go.
Oh, good. I would love it. It'll never happen, but I would love it if Miami played USC. I don't even think those teams ever played before. Me and Brian will have to have bragging rights forever, whoever wins that damn game, because it probably wouldn't happen again. At one time.
We have to go to that Cal game. The Cal Miami would be cool.
Oh, yeah, I already got my ticket, so you can roll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's already got it. Already got it. We sitting close.
Dope.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sorry, I ducked out on you guys for a moment. So little extra excitement here for us people who are located in Southern California. The U.S. Earthquake Agency now does alerts when they think an earthquake's about to happen. So we just got an earthquake alert saying that an earthquake was imminent. It said
an earthquake is imminent.
Yeah, it literally said stop, drop, and protect yourself, and put one of those like Amber Alert things on my phone. So I had to go tell the family that we were supposed to be having we haven't had anything yet.
Yeah,
now they're hanging out downstairs. So I was like, gotta go.
Straight up.
Yeah, we're all good. No, we just were talking about college football. I don't know if you got any more you want to talk about.
Nope, I'm all good. But yeah, I do hope that over the course of time they get one, better aligned, and then two, the playoffs make things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I advise anybody who doesn't watch college football to watch this year. I think this will be the year to definitely
Yeah,
watch.
there's a year to give it a shot. This is a good year to do it.
Yep.
It'll be chaotic if not entertaining.
You can real talk.
Heck yeah, word. Coop, give me some rundown on this NC2A on next gen, man, on PlayStation.
Man,
Half
so
my IG feed is cats running plays and juking and spinning and building programs.
It's a fun game. I think it's pretty hard to play defense in this game, especially if you have skilled offensive players, unless you go against a really good defense. I'm playing in dynasty mode, so I didn't just play one season. I'm playing in dynasty mode. I'm in the second, my second season. The one thing about that game, I'm not sure if you heard about it, Glenn or Brian, but it's the recruiting part when you play in dynasty mode. You pretty much have to recruit and scout every single week to get players, because if you want to be competitive, you're going to need players, because your players are not going to stay there forever. It's not the NFL. You just can't give them a contract and they stay. So I had a quarterback, Cam Ward, who's actually really the quarterback for Miami. Barely won a national title. Had to make a last-second touchdown against Ohio State and beat Georgia in the finals in the championship game. Now I'm in the second season, so now I have to get another quarterback. I had to get him through the transfer portal. They have that there too. You got it's almost, I'm gonna say it's real, but you got all these guys from California, New Jersey, whatever, and a lot of these people like to stay home. So it's kind of hard to get players from other states, you know what I mean? Unless you got some kind of influence or whatever.
That's right.
I got my senior quarterback for this season. We're about to enter the college football, the ACC championship game right now. He's a senior. The quarterbacks I got behind them are bums. So I got 2 freshman 4-star quarterbacks coming in next year. So I have no idea how my team's going to look or how good they're going to be. They're freshmen.
This sounds like real life.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, it is. They made the dynasty mode like
real.
Tried
to make it as good as they could. How does NIL play into the game?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't know. NIL doesn't. It's just all about recruiting and playing these games. And then you can lose a game. They have what we call rivalry games too. So if you're trying to get a recruit and you have to schedule visits, you schedule a visit for that rivalry game and you lose, most likely you probably lose that recruit. But if you schedule that visit when it's not a rivalry game, it might not make or break, that recruit, because it really ain't a big game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
Like Madden, how when I play you in Madden, you're on the road, it kind of shakes. So when you're like, for instance, I played Virginia Tech last night at Virginia Tech. I tried to change my route of the receivers. It wasn't happening. There's a question mark that shows up. They can't hear it. So they have to run their original route. So it kind of makes things, you have to kind of rely on the run game a little bit and have your audible straight. Because when you can't hear on the road,
that's tight.
So they try to make it as realistic as they can. It's actually a really, really good game. NCAA 25.
I'm hoping
I saw some people had found a hack where you could do these like really crazy spin moves.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that a real thing? Like people were doing spin moves and they were, you would be here and then all of a sudden you'd be way over.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. If you time it right.
It wouldn't
depend on the players' attributes.
Yeah.
I assume that stuff's gonna be a Madden too, because we're getting Madden next week. So EA was working on both games at the same time.
Yeah,
so
right. They actually advertised Madden on college football. Yeah.
Yeah, with some other polish improvements, because usually you try and make college a little bit more. It should be
friendlier.
more fun. It should be friendlier. It should you should have more chance for splash plays. There should be more mistakes. So
what you do, and plus you got in college, as you know, in real life college, you play against some schools. Your receiver speed's a 98, and the DB you playing against speed is a 85. You make a go route and there's no safety help. I mean, that's like an easy touchdown. Yeah, so he's out. So you know how it is in college football.
That's tight.
That's
tight. I'm gonna have to get up with you just to see it, bro. Come in with a Sac State versus Miami.
Yeah, that's funny. It only has all of the major schools.
Got it. Is Howard on there?
No.
Okay,
no, just major conferences, major schools. Yeah.
Okay, that makes
sense.
They
don't have any of the coaches on there, but they do have players.
Yeah, I feel I wouldn't want to pay them boys either.
Yeah, the coach has got enough money, so
I wouldn't pay them boys either. That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. All right, so NC2A, and then just kind of quick NFL teaser, man. We're still just getting to the first preseason game, like Brian said. We're still gonna do our full divisional breakdown as we get, week before the season. So just now, Coop, I know you had a couple of things. Some teams.
Well, I got one thing. So I'm gonna let Brian start on this one. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna stop predicting Mike Tomlin's job security, because he just got another extension. I mean,
what do you
it is secure.
Yeah, what are you talking
about?
So here's the so here's my
how many winning seasons you got to have, bro?
Okay, so they haven't won. They haven't got out the first round since 2016. Is it really working there in Pittsburgh? No, I'm gonna tell you this.
Y'all haven't won a championship in a long time. Is it really working for y'all?
Hey.
I was still wearing swishy suits last time y'all won.
Okay, we got out the
Okay, bro.
first round. If you Pittsburgh, you obviously not about winning championships. If you go and just sit there in mediocrity, ask
That's
Andy
not-
Reid. Ask Andy Reid how a second chance worked for him.
Does Mike Tomlin have a championship? I'm just
Yes, he
trying to
does.
remember.
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
okay. I'm
How
just
long ago was that?
Sam,
Not that
That
long.
wears off.
more
That wears
recent,
off.
more recent than the Niners.
Yeah,
I
more
was
recent
gonna
than
say-
ours. Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
that
Look,
wears off.
Mike Tomlin is a great coach,
Yes,
a
he
great
is.
manager of human beings.
Yes, he
He
is.
deserves to have a job as long as he wants one. And Pittsburgh has already proven
Yeah, they're not
historically
stupid.
that they don't get rid of guys because of
Yeah.
short
Yeah.
issues. But in order to, the talent that team has had has waned pretty significantly over time, and he still takes whatever groceries he's got in the cupboard and makes a dinner out of it.
Not saying he's a bad coach at all, but a change
Yeah,
of
I
scenery.
know.
Yeah,
We
change of
all
scenery.
think highly of him. But,
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Change of scenery ain't bad.
Pittsburgh is the perfect place to be a coach like Tomlin, who is consistently very good and maybe not always, exceptional. But all of it has to do with drafting, and he doesn't have a lot of control. Part of the problem is that it's hard to reset the cupboard when you're just good enough to not have a shot at the top players in a draft, right? Like there's not a lot of Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams and stuff getting down to where he is because they always do have a winning record and they always do get into the first round of the playoffs and so on and so forth. But congratulations to him on getting the
He should too.
another contract.
The Steelers are good about keeping coaching consistency too. They've had like 4 coaches in the last 30 years or something. And it's working. They
Cowher had a long deal. He only got 1 ring.
Last time
they've had 3 coaches their entire career.
Noel, Cowher,
Cowher,
and
the whole.
and,
Okay,
that's
I
it.
was gonna say.
and
Yeah,
all of them
been
have got
consistent.
some number of championships.
Yeah, they got Super Bowl.
Notorious B.I.G. Big Papa was the new song out when the Niners won the last Super Bowl.
Oh, that's cold. Why you go there?
So
He didn't do nothing to you.
Hold on. I think the Beach Boys was popular last time the Raiders won the Super Bowl.
it probably was Prince or something. You know what I'm saying? It was the 80s, but still.
Hey,
so-
Off the Wall was the number 1 album. Okay?
That's true.
So I'm
No,
just
that's
saying,
true.
Off
My
the
thing
Wall.
is, I wasn't saying fire Mike Tomlin though. You just want to say that.
No.
That's all I'm saying. I'll
It's
take
not
them
about
shots.
it's not about firing, but about a mutual party. And like I said, ask Andy Reid how a change of scenery has worked out for him. I mean, it changed his whole career.
Well,
I
I
think
don't know if it was a change of scenery. It was a change of an institution that at that point in time had run its course, whereas Pittsburgh has been very steady.
Yeah.
But anyways, most important game of the season is this, Saturday when the Vikings and the Raiders square
that's
off
funny.
in a masterful first preseason game because we know how much great talent we'll see in that.
That's funny.
What's the you want to put a shot bet on this? I mean, neither of us
course.
cares and what's one shot.
Of course.
All right. So you just want to go straight win or do you want to go over under? Like, is there just straight up win?
I believe you all are favored. I will take it straight. I'll take it straight
Okay.
up.
All right.
So
Yeah, one shot on for the next show on that.
Wait, don't we put each other in the preseason too?
Yeah, next
Oh,
week.
okay. Well, that'll be 2 shots then. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So it ain't nothing. So yeah, we'll see what's up.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like Brian. I'm interested to see for us. I mean, we got the quarterback battle, and then for Brian, they have some interesting developments right now at QB. I mean, I see one.
That's not a
day-
battle though. Is
One
it?
day McCarthy looks good. The next day they're like he's not it. The next day this guy's it. And
JJ's looking pretty good from all the stuff that I'm reading from the sources that I believe in and trust.
sure,
He has no chance of being a starter.
he should.
Zero chance. That's not.
Well, he
gonna be a
shouldn't.
thing.
Yeah.
But
that's
do you
smart.
want him to be the starter? I mean,
No.
you shouldn't want him to be, should you?
No, not at all.
There's no
Okay.
need.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I
Let
thought.
him continue to develop.
Right.
Yeah.
At some point in time, we have a bye week, and we can evaluate whether he's ready then. And if he's not, that's cool too.
Let that boy sit a whole. I mean, truthfully, the last few QBs beyond CJ that really did well at least had 1 year to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mahomes.
I mean,
Lamar,
sitting
lot of
for a
them guys.
year is not bad. I mean, people
No.
act like that's a curse. You got to play him. No, you don't have to play him the first year.
Yeah,
can
you just
sit
you
him.
got to pay them that bread when they're a high pick. Is the only thing.
Yeah.
But it's still less than what y'all about to play Brock Purdy.
Oh well.
'Cause that boy
Yeah.
about to get the bag.
Oh wait. Actually, so now to start talking about that, there's a quarterback. So I think I said last year was a make or break year for Justin Fields. And of course, they got him out of there. This year, the make or break quarterback, Glenn Bryan, is going to be Will Levis with Tennessee. They've tried to give him everything. Tony Pollard and a whole bunch of
Looks all
other
right. He could
receivers.
sling that ball though. I'll say that. He
Glenn,
throw the pill.
the Titans passed for less than 200 yards for 10 games last year. He ain't spreading like that.
Well,
So we gonna
last
see.
year's last year though.
That's true,
We
but
all
I'm
know
just
that.
saying.
You can't go off
But
that.
that's true, but we'll see. So I think if he has one of them Justin Fields types of years, he probably gonna be out in Tennessee, gonna be looking for another quarterback. But we'll see. I mean, they tried to help him out and give him some weapons, but that's a team that interests me because I'm not a Will Levis fan, of course, but I want to see how he does with Tennessee. Is there any other teams y'all looking at
Hey,
besides your own?
yeah, okay, we could do that. Real quick, I was gonna say Tootsie Roll came out the day of the Super Bowl.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I was in there, so that's all I'm saying. By 69 boys, shout out to Florida. But
Okay.
no,
All right.
all jokes aside, man, there's so much intrigue every year. Like the league is a great job about free agency and off season, just making it intriguing. I read stuff every day, even when there's nothing going on. There's always something that they do. I think they do it better than anybody else.
Mhm.
To that point, man, there's a lot of teams. Obviously my own division. I'm very curious about Harbaugh. I want to see if with the Broncos what they're gonna do. I want to see how we look. Your division, I think y'all are top of the pop. So there's really not. We'll see if the Rams can make any moves. I want to see what Joe Burrow does coming back. What Justin Jefferson's gonna look like with a new QB.
Mhm.
That boy Kirk Cousins in Atlanta with all that offense, and also how that's gonna impact fantasy. Like, man, I'm so excited. So excited for football.
I just looked it up, Glenn. Like a Virgin by Madonna was the #1 song when
Yeah, it was
Raiders won the Super
1983.
Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
I don't even think rap was barely invented.
That's hella funny. Hella funny. Be any other team you probably interested in looking at this year?
So many. I mean, I'm selfishly interested in watching Chicago and seeing what happens
Yep.
there. I think we may not have the best teams in our division, but we have one of the most interesting divisions up and down.
I agree.
Even I think our worst team in the Bears is going to be super interesting because of Caleb. I think Detroit has one of those looks that people are going to be very curious to see if they can keep moving it forward because they were very good. You got Jordan Love, who's tied now for the highest deal in history until Purdy gets his new deal. And then, so that'll be interesting. You got JJ McCarthy and the Vikings and Justin Jefferson. And with Aaron Jones, I know a lot of people who, from a Madden perspective, are really excited about the Vikings because of the Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison kind of offensive juggernaut that they might be able to do in Madden. So anyways, I'm interested in that division. I'm obviously paying attention to it as it goes through the playoffs. The other one that I really am watching that might be a little unexpected is the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, because given what the decisions that they made in the draft, I'm waiting for that to blow up or someone to I either think he becomes GM of the year or loses his job.
Yeah, it's a boom. It looks like a boom or bust team to you, doesn't it? Because it does to me. It's like boom or bust. Yeah.
And what's funny is it has almost nothing to do with Kirk Cousins and the offense. Yeah, and it has everything to do with whether or not their decision to pass up on the ability to draft a top, probably starter quality defensive player pays off by going this other direction. But I don't get the draft pick. I feel bad for Penix because I think he would have actually been good in another team. And I am going to be curious to see what happens over there.
Well, I think the saving grace is you never really know how a person. Kirk Cousins, age 36, come off ACL surgery. We'll see. So maybe Penix might play, first year, but we'll see. I want to ask you guys.
Sitting 1 year ain't bad either. So go ahead.
But sitting 1 year ain't bad.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Before I ask you a question, another team I'm interested in is the Jets, because I think I got robbed last year not seeing Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. I kind of want to see how that plays out. But
sure.
At the question I want to ask you guys, we talked about it briefly on text, but really didn't elaborate. You guys both think that Brandon Ayuk is gone? Like it's a done deal?
No.
So it's not a done deal. So the New England pulled out of negotiations this early evening, late afternoon, and said that they're no longer pursuing it. So that only leaves the Browns deal structure in place. But
what about Pittsburgh? No Pittsburgh?
No, Pittsburgh pulled out a while ago, apparently. So it was down to as of last night when the rumors kind of started heating up that it was either the Patriots or the Browns. Patriots just pulled out, so that leaves the Browns. Here's what I think. I think the 49ers have figured out that this just doesn't make any sense and that he's going to be more of a problem than he is going to be an asset. And they are working towards accepting the fact that they're going to have to trade a very talented player. And I think it will happen. Won't be surprised if it didn't, won't be surprised if it does. I think it will happen. And I think everybody's kind of recognizing that the wall is coming and they're getting towards it quickly.
I'm wondering
So-
if, real quick, Coop, if this is the,
No, tell us. I want to see.
if this is the, how kind of the running backs got played last year, how it's kind of like, okay, how they did Lamar, right? Go Lamar Jackson, go out there, figure out what your value is, seek a trade, seek a deal, go ahead. You come back, you don't really get any, it doesn't generate as much money as you thought. And you say, okay, here's the deal we were going to offer you type deal. So I'm wondering if you can get him back on, if he doesn't get, super top end money, plus people want to trade multiple picks, that puts the Niners in a spot to say, hey man, we do like you. We want to keep you here, but we ain't going to pay you Tyreek money. We're going to pay you,
My
10th receiver money.
My opinion is it's not happening. He's staying. If the 49ers were going to trade him, it would have been draft night for a first round pick. It didn't happen. The 49ers need Brandon Ayuk, who's holding in, and they need Trent Williams, who's holding out. They have the leverage, just like Nick Bosa had the leverage when he was negotiating his contract. The 49ers are going to cave and sign both of them. It makes no sense to take away Brock Purdy's top target. That's the person he has the most chemistry with and the only real receiver we have. And then Trent Williams, the only real lineman we have. The rest of our line, you guys know, ain't that damn good. He holds that up. So they are in the positions of leverage like Nick Bosa was. The 49ers are going to cave. I believe that the 49ers entertained, because as an organization, you should accept these phone calls and see what you can possibly give for players. But I believe they have no intention to trade. I would be thoroughly surprised if I didn't care if New England, Cleveland, I don't care who made a deal. I would be thoroughly surprised if Brandon Ayuk was on the team. You're trying to win a Super Bowl in this last year before you play Brock Purdy. Why in the hell would you give away Brandon Ayuk? It doesn't make sense to me. So
I think you're thinking of it though from a fan of the team, and like this makes sense because it would be the smart thing to do, and that rarely actually takes count.
They're trying to win a Super Bowl. It's not a fan. They're trying to win a Super. They're trying to do everything they can.
Like I said, you believe that it's the smart and reasonable thing to do if you want to win the Super Bowl to not get rid of Brandon Ayuk.
Oh,
they might feel like I was saying earlier that the pain in the ass that he's become isn't the problem. By the way, I was just reading an article that just broke about 30 minutes ago, and it was talking about how he actually had a chance to talk to the Patriots today with the team's approval, and said no based on the deal the Patriots are after. The fact that he was able to talk to the Patriots about the deal that they were offering, that says an awful lot more than, hey, this is not just a smoke screen.
It's not
when you start letting players talk contracts.
Yeah, probably.
The other thing it said was that the Steelers and the Commanders are back into the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing with Debo. Jets offered a number 10 pick, but wanted the 49ers second round pick. They said no. I mean, it's the same thing.
But Debo didn't have a chance to talk contract with him. And it's a big difference when you get a call when whoever's on the Patriots side is talking to the player and says, here's the deal that we can put together for you. And Debo and Ayuk apparently said, not enough.
The 49ers will just match it. The 49ers will just match it and he'll stay.
I'm curious how this plays out because
me too. I don't think he's there.
I think he probably, I don't know. It's tough because of the cap situation, because the issue with Debo and all those guys who got money before, there was no quarterback to be paid. Now there's a quarterback to be paid.
That's next year. You can worry about that next year.
But you're going to need that cap. You're going to need that cap, bro.
They have $52 million right now.
This year until he gets more money, apparently.
Well, and next year they're $8 million over.
Already. No, this year we're under $52 million.
Right. That's right now. 2025, you're already
$8 million. He doesn't want a one-year deal, my friend. He wants an extension, which would start next year.
It will lower, but it's a low cap number for the first 2 years, just like Bosa's deal. Those cap numbers can be played with.
That's true.
Yeah, just give him signing bonuses and lowers the cap.
Say, it's gonna be Purdy, you might be able to get one. His cap number ain't gonna be nothing to play with. His joint's gonna be like
it ain't gonna be Deshaun Watson though. It ain't gonna be Deshaun Watson.
Nah,
it won't be Dak. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be up there.
It's going to be Tua. It's going to be Jordan Love for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be up there.
By the way, they're
We'll
the two
see.
highest paid guys right now.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Tua and
Yes, they
Jordan
are.
Love.
That's
Right.
Yes, they
facts.
are.
And I don't like Purdy. I don't think he's nearly as good as anyone thinks, including you. But I think he's going to get Tua and Jordan Love money.
Well,
Man, he's better than Tua and
I
better than
about to say
Jordan
he's up
Love.
there with
Man,
them.
please.
He's up there with them for
Please,
sure.
Tua, you put Tua in a man, please.
But that's
Outside
the
of
problem.
home.
Jason, that's why I'm acknowledging that that's the problem. He
Yeah.
may be as good as those two guys, and they're the two highest
Yeah.
paid people.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
very, very good
That
argument
is the
that
problem.
he should
That
be
you're-
making
I
as much
agree.
or more than him.
I agree.
And you and I both
I
agree
agree.
that the rule is whoever signs last gets the biggest paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
Guess
don't
who
like.
hasn't signed yet?
Which I don't like, but it's the reality of the situation.
It's a reality.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why Brandon Ayuk wants Justin Jefferson money. He ain't figured out he ain't Justin Jefferson yet. So everybody else has to tell him. And then
Can I ask,
Well, I
can I
think
ask
that's what
another
this
weird
is.
question?
Yeah.
If anyone looked at their fantasy football wide receiver rankings, why is
Brandon-
Justin Jefferson like fifth?
because the quarterback, look who he's playing with.
Mm.
Look who he's playing with.
It's-
Sam
it's-
Ayuk's
Darnold.
playing. Wait a minute. Ayuk's playing with Purdy. CeeDee Lamb's playing with Dak. You know.
I'm sorry.
It's not a
Did you see
requirement.
Brock? I'm sorry. You see Brock Purdy's deep ball? Number
The
one
last
deep ball.
time a good quarterback and a good wide receiver, it was Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Guess what Tyreek Hill did the next year with that guy you were just saying isn't that good? He did better.
Yeah,
Oh,
with-
he was
with Tua.
Well, yeah. He was
man.
he was all offense.
They should
Yeah.
keep dropping him even
Guess
lower
who's
and lower.
our whole offense?
I wish he
How
dropped.
was Tua?
to
How
me.
was Tua before Tariq though?
Not
Just
that
saying.
bad.
Just saying. Shit.
He wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
get him on the
got hurt.
road.
weren't they winning games?
okay. Hope he wins a
Yeah,
road
he-
game.
He got his bell rung. His problem was he couldn't stay healthy, not that he couldn't play.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot about that. I
Oh,
forgot
just like
about that.
college. Oh, okay, just
He
like
was
college.
getting- he was
Okay,
getting,
got it.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
were
got
saying
it.
is he?
He's
It
small.
wasn't the passing of the ball. It was the knocking of the head.
Oh,
he was good.
okay. All right.
No, this gonna be a fun season, man. I don't
Yeah,
know
it will
if,
be.
if you guys got anything else specific,
I don't
but
think it's-
otherwise, I think we'll
I don't
just do
think there's
this all
anything
night.
that you can predict. I'm looking at the preseason games very carefully, but I don't think that this season is anything. Someone asked me, "Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs do it this year?" No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me
He's
either.
like, well, great. Who do
I
you
can't
think?
pick them.
And I'm like, I have no damn
Right.
idea.
That's
It's
how I
not going to
feel.
be Buffalo. I can't. Baltimore never seems to be able to get it done. You know, Miami's got issues, but I think the Chiefs' run
That's
is
my answer.
over. It's,
Yeah.
But I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's going to be an
my
interesting
same
season
answer.
because I do think that it's going to be a different
wait.
outcome.
Yeah, people said the 49ers like, older team, another year, keep blowing it. McCaffrey ain't gonna be healthy this year. I wouldn't pick him. I don't
Already
know.
out for preseason games.
Yeah, I don't know.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Cool.
Don't know at all.
Hey, I'd say we call it, man. We'll do
Cool.
this all night.
Let's do it. All right.
Let's get to the last couple segments. First being hogwash, man.
Well, you got one? I don't have anything.
I don't actually.
If
Nobody
Brian doesn't
has.
have one, we can call it a night if Brian don't have one.
Well, I got plenty. I was actually. I was actually collecting them over the last few weeks, but I'm just going to keep it real short. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. What I thought was hogwash were folks who kind of jumped and started putting out the misinformation. Those who read it, if not the problem, about the woman who
Yeah,
they
I
wanted
agree.
to call misgendered and transgendered, and it helps if people, before they put the article out, because the Post put it out and Fox News put it out and a bunch of people put out like transgender fighter. That woman gets to live with that for the rest of her life. It's hogwash.
Nice.
I have
Agreed.
nothing.
Minute to win it. Mine is just thanks to everybody for listening. Appreciate the support. Shout out to the homies up in Canada. Where Toronto's an amazing city. Had a great time out there. And yeah, my cousin who's was on that USA 3-on-3 team. Word.
I'll probably just give a shout out to my boy's niece, Chelsea Gray. She made the women's Olympic
yeah,
team.
she boss. She
So,
could hoop.
so yeah, I know my boy's daughter made the NBA. His niece is down in the WNBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to her, Chelsea Gray, cool person.
Yeah, she could hoop. Beat.
A couple of things. Again, I've been collecting them for weeks, but there's been so much talk about the impact of Caitlin Clark and the impact she wasn't making on the WNBA because they weren't making any more money. There wasn't any more things. And then the TV contract just got signed.
Big bread.
And, you know, the WNBA just signed a $2.2 billion media rights deal. So it is that takes the basement player from $57,000 a year, who nobody on this show and that we know wants to make, to $200,000 a year. I think it's safe to say that Caitlin Clark has absolutely had a overtly positive impact on the league, whether she was playing well or not well. She was putting seats in there. She was getting people to watch TV, most importantly, and that has elevated the league. And so I hope it continues, and congratulations to the league. Respect to Caitlin Clark for making part of that happen. The other thing I will share is we really did have an earthquake. So there was a 5.3 earthquake. I got an alert on my phone. I've never gotten one of those alerts and actually had an earthquake.
Hey, what did it say? It's coming?
Yeah, the alert actually says, Jason, no joke. The alert actually says, you know, earthquake coming, stop, drop, and protect yourself. Here, I'll read it to you. Earthquake detected. Drop, cover, and hold on. Protect yourself from, you know, the USGS, the United States Geological Service.
That's crazy.
And then not long after that, there was a 5.3 earthquake about 60 miles from my house. Obviously, no damage, no big deal. I ran over, told my family, and came back and finished the show. But just kind of an interesting side note about those types of things. First time that alert has actually told me when there was one. All the rest of the time, I sat there scared or worried or whatever, trying to corral the kids. It never happened.
All good.
Word, man.
All good. Well, happy everybody's safe, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Sure.
Appreciate it. I appreciate both y'all, man. Always a pleasure. It's August 6th, 2024. That's Sports Counterpoints, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Ayo.